Morning all, calendar week 27, days of sunshine. It has been an intensely hot week in Europe and at the Barracks. Your favourite pirate is a teeny bit red all over. I might be quite the silver-haired gardener philosopher these days, but it's hard to forget that I am still a ginger underneath. On top of that, winter and spring were unnaturally dry, so while the ground is being baked from above, there is little moisture even quite deep under it. The expression heat dome might be a meteorologically new one, but in another new linguistic sign of the times, it has entered the common tongue in just the last 2 or 3 years. Just like flash drought, polar vortex, and thundersnow, language is having to grow to normalise the extra normal conditions that we are far too quickly having to get used to. Socially, change is happening faster than optimal. The Greek authorities have told people not to go outside after noon. So it's Greece. We know it's hot there. But this is still Europe. It happens elsewhere is not going to be a usable excuse for very much longer. I've joked about this for a long time. Maybe to mask the seriousness. Maybe it's because with humour you can jolt people more effectively. But I'm genuinely worried about this coming summer. I had a look back over the last 2 years' worth of KW-27s, and I mentioned that it was hot in both of them, so maybe it's just my terrible memory. But then looking at the peas and potatoes, both years were far ahead of where we are now in the growing season. The soft fruits are just starting to feed me some much needed fresh produce. I continue to eat strawberries every day. The white currants look as if they're going to win the second place crown, but I'm most excited about the tay berries, which will almost certainly be the last to ripen, but for the first time this year are doing just great. I'd mostly ignored them before this year, but then I gave them a trellis to climb up, and they're flourishing. I guess we all need structure. It's incredible that I'm still sowing. It might be a good thing as well. This week I put in a couple of rows of beetroots, 4 of sweet corn, 4 sunflowers, a nice double row of broad beans, and 3 rows of potatoes. None of this makes any sense to my conditioned gardener brain. Broad beans are an overwintering crop, usually. They're not here as the ground freezes up just a little more than they can really deal with. The rush to fill up the potato break before the middle of May is a real thing. Sunflowers and sweet corn need many days of sunshine to ripen. It was such a slow start to the year, it's valid to ask if any of this is going to work. The strange thing is, I feel good about it. I'm not exactly worried about the winter food stores. Everything being a bit later isn't even the worst thing. Sure, as I mentioned last week, it would have been nicer to have been eating from the garden already. But pushing the whole season back a week or two hopefully just means that the fresh stuff keeps coming off a little bit longer at the end, pushing the consumption from the stores to a little later as well. And next year is a fatter year than this one. I did realise that the last couple of chapters of the Book of the Barracks have maybe sounded more doomer than happy, so a note. The curious thing about being a doomer is that people think you must be miserable. I think this is a postmodernist problem where, in postmodernism, the only thing that exists is the present, devoid of context or history or future. A current moment to be consumed. It wants us to exist in a state of permanent heightened intensity. All we have is either a magically beautiful moment, because we need our consumption to make us whole, or we exist in a sullen, dreary depression. Happy doomerism is not the intersection of the both. Being happy because of the coming collapse would be crazy, but only exactly as unreasonable as assuming chaos and the terror of the moment, because happiness is momentarily unavailable. It's the rejection of the binary choice. I know magic exists. I see it in the Barracks in ways which appear to be contraindicatory to a rigorous scientific examination. There are manifestations of the natural world which lie on the edge and beyond our senses, and therefore beyond our science, and which are magical and beautiful. At the same time, we have put ourselves into an unchangeable course to, at best, the collapse of society, and at worst, the extinction of the human race. If we were to choose to live in either of these extremes, we would go mad. but we can accept that they both exist and choose to thrive in the middle and be the best versions of ourselves possible. A binary lens on the world is the worst possible take. Come to the Collapse Laboratory and we can discuss it better there. And until then, or until next week, I wish you all the best and hope to see you again soon. Much love, your loving pirate Ben. XO, XO.